Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today we're going to be going over a deck that hasn't been necessarily very competitive in quite some time, but it is back with some brand new cards in Paldea Evolved, and that is going to be Gengar VMAX. Now, Gengar VMAX is a deck that used to be relatively powerful last year, with decks like Mew VMAX and Arceus taking up such a large portion of the metagame. This deck was able to see success. However, as decks like Palkia V-Star, Rapid Strike Urshifu, eventually even Lugia in the future became more and more powerful, this deck really lost a lot of steam in what made it special. However, there was a recent late night tournament, and a player by the name of Iron Golem did make it into top 4 of a tournament with over 300 players with Gengar VMAX. Now, this list is a little bit different than theirs, but I'll have the link to their list in the description, and shout out to them for the inspiration. So, Gengar VMAX is a card many of you might not know actually what it does. It has 320 HP with that Fear and Panic attack, doing 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon V and GX in play. So the more Vs they have in play, as GXs really aren't a thing anymore, you're able to do much more damage with that Fear and Panic. Gmax Swallow Up, really powerful attack, doing 250, and we're going to be using that single strike energy to be able to increase the amount of damage that we do with it. This is going to be the engine that we have. We have the Houndoom engine with that single strike roar. Once in your turn, you may search your deck for a single strike energy card and attach it. However, when you attach, you do put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So your goal is to get out multiple Houndoom to use that single strike roar to be able to power up Gengar VMAX, to be able to use that massive Gmax Swallow Up. We have Yveltal. It's a great one prize attacker, especially against decks like Gardevoir, and we also have the Bibarel engine with that Industrious Incisors as well. Path is going to be the main card that we're going to be using to be able to disrupt our opponents, paired up with Iono, which is a brand new card from Paldea Evolved, and we also still have a very strong draw support in Research and Judge as well. Forest Seal Stone has entered this deck because this deck doesn't actually have a V-Star power, which is kind of unconventional because most of these V decks do. So being able to have Forest Seal Stone to really boost that consistency is absolutely fantastic, and allows you to get those really consistent early game starts to be able to run your opponents over. This deck is actually pretty good, and I think it's definitely going to start to show up a little bit more as players, kind of start to test the deck out. So today we're going to hop into some games and show off how it works. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's the best way to help me out as a creator. All right, let's hop into it. Alrighty, everyone, so hopping into our game here, looks like we do got ourselves a okay start. We got ourselves Houndour along with the Path to the Peak on that turn 1. So we're going to be able to hopefully shut off their Radiant Greninja. Probably going to be going up against that Lost Zone toolbox deck of some sort, whether it be Giratina, Turbo Lost Box, Kyogre, or Goodra, does remain to be seen. So Comfy is assigned at some Lost Box variant, but it doesn't tell us everything. So here comes VIP Pass coming out here. It looks like they got themselves a pretty good start. Going to be able to get themselves 2 of any basic Pokemon and toss them onto the field. And to no one's surprise, Double Comfy has hit the board here. So gonna see how we're able to do against this. Here is the Flower Selecting, gonna be used to be able to get 1 card and put it into Lost Zone. Ooh, looks like there is a Metal Energy getting tossed away. I think we're going up against Goodra here. Okay, this will be cool. So we'll see how we're able to do here. Here is the Flower Selecting, gonna be used tossing away that Raihan. And they're going to be going into another Comfy here, going to be able to use another Flower Selecting, trying to get them to 7, I think, as quickly as possible is what they are attempting to pull off here. And all right, did they even Flower Selecting there? Yeah, they did Flower Selecting. Okay, cool. They went Flower, Jet, Flower. Did they accidentally go into the same Comfy twice? No, it's fine. Did they? Yeah, okay, never mind. They've used all 3 Comfies. Flower, Jet, Flower, switch card. Huh, okay. Let's go Houndoom here. We can also start off here with that single strike roar. Gonna be able to get ourselves that energy, gonna be able to put it down there. Also going to be able to attach for turn on to the Gengar as well. And we also have Iono, so a great turn for us. Going to be able to Iono here, put them back down to 6 cards, and we're going to be looking for things like Bidoofs and also other Houndours, but unfortunately looks like we're not able to do that. However, we do have ourselves a Dark Slumber attack here, going to be able to take this out, and we have ourselves another Iono for the next turn, where hopefully we'll be able to find ourselves more Pokemon to be able to establish a strong board state. Now, good thing is that I do have 4 Seal Stone plus Boss's Orders for that next turn. So if they do get down a Goodra here, if that's what they're playing, I'll be able to go 4 Seal Stone for Gengar VMAX, and then I'll be able to use that Boss's Orders along with a Houndoom's ability to be able to chase down that Goodra here. So things are looking very good for us. Here is that flower selecting, although our board is technically weak, as I only have 1 Houndoom and 1 Gengar in the field, it is still actually pretty good. So we'll see that Colress's experiment. The big question is whether or not they can find something like that Escape Rope that will trap this Houndoom in the active, as I do not have a switch card. So definitely going to be looking for that, and it looks like they are not able to do that. So this is going to be an incredibly explosive turn here. I don't even need to evolve into the Gengar VMAX. I simply can bring up this and take the knockout here with that Pain Explosion. So going to use that Boss's Orders here, going to be able to bring up that Goodra. Even though I do take 30 damage, that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. We're going to be able to put 4 Seal Stone onto the Gengar as well. I don't think there's any way they can do 170 realistically anyways with another Goodra, so I feel totally fine. Just simply Pain Explosion in here for 250, taking the KO on that Hisuian Goodra V. And I also now have 4 Seal Stone locked onto this, so if something like a Roxanne or Iono comes, I should be able to get ourselves out of it. So the Switch energy along with the Dark is absolutely fantastic for that latter portion of the game. Just having those switches are going to be very important, and we're probably going to want to look towards setting up another Gengar for the latter portion of this game. Here comes the Comfy's Flower Selecting, going to be able to Flower Select here. Let's see what they're able to get. Boss's Orders gets tossed away. And we do see that Lost Vacuum. Wonder what they're tossing away here. Might be the Path, or could also be 4 Seal Stone. Yeah, it looks like they had to put the Path, and that's why Path is so good sometimes, is that you sometimes really force them to have to waste that Lost Vacuum on something like that Path to the Peak there, whereas they would love to have gotten rid of the 4 Seal Stone, but they're just not able to. So Super Rod coming in there, going to be able to put those Goodras back in. And we do see that Iono as well. The thing about it though is that if they bench a Goodra, I can simply 4 Seal Stone for a Boss's Orders to be able to take it out. So we're just looking so good in this game. There is another Goodra hitting the board, Artisan as well, going to allow them to search their deck for a non-rule box Pokemon here. Basic, gonna hit the board. Potentially Kramer, looks like that's exactly what it is. And gotta assume that they're gonna pass. There's a rope though, kind of annoying, as they're gonna be able to force that Houndoom into the active, kind of hoping that I don't have a switch card here, which I end up having, which is really nice. So we're gonna be able to use that Escape Rope for a Seal Stone for another Gust Effect potentially, and attack into that Hisuian Goodra, taking the KO. They are up to 9 as well, so they're really close to be able to get up to that 10 to be able to get the KO or start to use things like Sableye. So that's good. We're going to just start off with Artisan. It's always good to use Artisan first, just to kind of see what's in the deck here. I think we're going to get ourselves another Houndour. As long as the boss is in there, which it is, we're going to be able to use that Gust Effect here and take another KO. So, all right. I think we're going to grab ourselves the Bidoof here, because we already have another Houndoom anyway. So we'll go there. Let's go Escape Rope. Gonna force something up here. I gotta promote something. So we'll see what they got. I assume they're just gonna give me another Comfy here, right? Yeah, there's another Comfy. All right, 4 Seal Stone going to allow us to go in Star Alchemy here. The good thing is that even if I deal another 30 here, I luckily am not going to be setting myself up for Cramorant KO. So unfortunately, going to be able to get the KO here. So we're going to bring up that. We're going to bench the Houndour as well, just so we have another one on the field. And then we're going to use that Pain Explosion, 250 damage, just completely overwhelming this Goodra deck. And we haven't even used Gengar VMAX this game. So hopefully going to find something playable off here, just in case they try and pull off a boss stall strategy. And that's exactly what we drew. A Professor's Research and also a Dark Energy, meaning something like a Boss's Orders on this Houndoom is going to have no effect, as we're going to be able to attach to the Houndoom and then Single Strike Roar to be able to then get that free retreat. Something like Boss's Orders definitely seems like something that they might try and pull off here to be able to buy themselves a little time. Maybe get a Sableye in, just kind of work themselves, you know, back into this game potentially. So There is the, ooh, they got themselves Zamazenta. Okay, so they are playing the Spice as well. So we got ourselves a game here if we can't actually get rid of this Zam. The good thing is we have research, right? So we do have a little bit of time to hopefully get ourselves out of this, because if they do have this, this becomes very scary. The big question is whether or not they can KO it, because they can go KO with Zam, then maybe they can start Sableyeing things. They can maybe get a little bit weird. Maybe that gives them time to establish their Goodra V-Star. And it looks like they weren't able to do it, and it looks like we're going to be able to get that game. They're got a little bit scary though with that Zamazenta. So first game, able to take it down with the Gengar VMAX deck. Let's hop into another one and really show off just how powerful this deck can be. Alrighty, so hopping into our next game here, it looks like we're going to be going up against Arceus, and we have admittedly a pretty mediocre hand here. So I think at this point, we're just going to grab a Gengar just to get it established. The problem is we don't have VIP Pass here, right? So we're not able to get down multiple Houndours, but we still got Energy turn 1 and Pass. And as long as we can get ourselves a couple Houndours next turn and go into Houndooms and get off a Gmax swell up, we should be fine. The big thing here is whether or not they can hit turn 1 Trinity Charge. If they can't, I definitely will have a little bit of extra time and relief, admittedly. So this is a big turn here. Really is going to determine a lot on exactly how aggressive they can be and what they're going to be able to do. So Arceus getting plopped down here. We do see the Ultra Ball as well. So seems like a pretty textbook Arceus start. They got themselves the Umbreon and also the Arceus. Probably going to be searching for something like that Duraludon V also to get onto the field. Maybe even something like that Radiant Alakazam. As when you see Gengar, you typically can assume the Houndooms also. So Alakazam might be something that actually is very useful in this matchup, as a lot of my Pokemon will be getting damaged. And if they have Switch, then cool. A little bit worried that they're going to have it, but it looks like they did not have it. So we're going to start with Iono here. I got to assume that they had Arceus in hand regardless, so they were just kind of holding on to it. And we got ourselves admittedly a pretty decent hand here. So we got ourselves the Houndoom, got ourselves another Gengar. We can also path them, which is really good. I can attach for turn as well. I think we're going to attach here. That seems fine. I think we'll attach here, and then we'll pass it off to them. So I do get the research turn 2, or turn 3. I can get into Gengar VMAX as well. So things are looking pretty okay for us. We didn't necessarily get the most explosive turn 1 and turn 2. However, it's decent. So here comes Alakazam. Smart of them putting that down there, definitely, because they're going to need that to be able to manipulate damage onto the field. So here comes Judge. All right, so Judge being able to hit here, hopefully gonna get us a research or some type of supporter, and it did. It gave us a really nice hand. So here's Arceus. The big question is whether or not they have Stadium. If they do get themselves Stadium here, they are going to be, oh no, they Lumini another path. No, why did they do that? Are they gonna concede? Okay, they're just passing. All right, they did not concede. Okay, cool. We'll go Bibarel. Oh no, why did you do this to yourself? You had so much potential. All right, we're gonna Beaver for one because I don't want to Ultra Ball all this stuff away. Okay, now I have Ultra Ball. Got the Houndoom. All right. Because I didn't want to discard all those things in our hand, right? So that's important. Looking for the Switch, and I did find the Switch. However, now I've missed. I didn't find energy, so that's not good. I can though Single Strike Roar onto the Gengar here, which just seems fine. Loading this up here. Dealing 20 to myself is admittedly not optimal, but looks like I have to deal with that. So we're going to get down to the other Bidoof here just to have that. And then I think I'm just going to pass it off to them, because if they miss, then I can go switch Gengar, Boss's Orders, potentially draw a couple cards at the very least, try and get ourselves off the ground that way. So although they Luminioned, I'm still in not necessarily a perfect spot, right? So we'll see. Yeah, there's the Escape Rope. Okay, so this is still potentially fine, because I can just give them the Bidoof here, and then they KO me. It opens up prize cards, or it opens up bench space as well. I can kind of maneuver myself around this too. So this is still looking fine. I'm not too worried about it. It really depends on what they want to put up here, if they don't have energy or not, which they might not, but they wouldn't have promoted Arceus if they didn't have energy, right? Think? You'd think. So Oh, there's the boss. What are they? Ooh, do they have energy? What could they have? They might just pass too. Like, this might not be energy, and they might just be trying to lock it in the active, which I guess is kind of reasonable. But we'll see what they do. I think if I have the opportunity, I'm just gonna boss take out the Duraludon here. Seems fine. Yeah, Path is really good versus Arceus. As you can see, Path is just so powerful against these decks. There is the Gengar VMAX, beautiful. So we're going to be able to evolve into it and then use that single strike roar to be able to power up this gigantic machine of a Pokemon. Just going to be able to devour them here with that Gmax swallow up, or Fear and Panic takes the knockout too, which is absolutely ridiculous. We're going to be able to Fear and Panic, take that KO, dealing 300 damage. And what do they possibly do? Their Arceus has been taken down. We have also a boss's orders on that Duraludon. Even if they go into Duraludon VMAX, we can then just still take it out with a massive Gmax swallow up for 330 as Gengar deals that perfect damage. And you can kind of see when you get set up, it's really difficult for them to beat you. Here's that professor's research. Duraludon hitting the board here. The big question is do they have that stadium? If they do have that stadium, it's going to cause a little bit of an issue for us, but we should be fine as our deck is built around that path to the peak cards. So going to see what they're able to do here. Arceus does hit the board. There is the double turbo energy as well, and it looks like they just don't have anything else for us. So we're going to be able to deal, once again, we can deal 600 damage to the active, which is absolutely crazy. What we're going to do is we're going to single strike roar. Once again, we're going to get ourselves another energy. It doesn't matter if they Trinity Nova, because we're going to be able to bring up here that Duraludon, pull it up into the active. You're going to be getting one shot here. G-Max swallow up, dealing 330 damage, and there's absolutely nothing that they can do to stop this here. So going to be able to get that KO, going down to one prize card here. And now, since that Duraludon's gone, there's going to be no chance of maybe an Iono bump Stadium, and maybe I can't find Stadium anymore. I just need to find Switch, which I think is admittedly much easier. And based off that Culver's experiment, looks like that is going to lock it up here. We're going to be able to use that Switch and that Escape Rope to be able to get into a Gengar VMAX again and use that Gmax swallow up. So you can see if you can get this Gengar VMAX up against this Arceus deck, you can just absolutely run them over. We do see the Arceus getting a double turbo or an Arceus V-Star as well, plus a double turbo. So if they attach for turn as well, they are going to be able to get off that Trinity Nova to attempt to power up the Duraludon. However, that path is just completely slowing them down from being able to do absolutely anything. And I really don't think they got a whole lot that they can do here. They're going over their options on whether or not they can actually get back into this game. I think their best chance is just hoping I don't have any way to be able to actually get this KO. And even if I were to top deck a Gengar VMAX, I could retreat all these, then earn and just KO, and they don't have anything. It looks like we're going to be able to take it. So Gengar VMAX completely overwhelming the opponents there, being able to take down two relatively strong decks right now in the current format. So that being said, that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. With that being said, I'll catch you all on the next one. This is SmartTCG, and I'll speak with you again soon. Peace. If you're looking to improve your game, I do offer coaching on Metafy. I was ranked in the top 16 ranked players in the entire world, and I know what it takes to reach the next level. I have a free coaching consultation if you're interested in booking that to kind of figure out exactly what coaching is and whether or not it is something for you. I also have individual sessions, event decklist preparation, replay reviews, training plans, and more. So if you have any questions, make sure to book that consultation if you're interested, and we can kind of go over exactly what coaching is and how it will make you into the very best player that you can possibly be. But with that being said, thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate it. This is SmartTCG, and I'll speak with you all again soon. Thank you so much for the support. Peace.